Okay, hey guys, I am Sarah from OnlineSchoolMom.com. I am a working mom full-time in the corporate world, and I also have been overseeing the homeschooling of my kids for going on 7 years now. So they are now going into 9th and 10th grade, and we've been doing this this will be our 7th year this fall. So I'll preface this by saying we primarily do online schooling as our homeschooling curriculum, and we've used a variety of providers and have had really good success. So I would highly encourage you to listen up to 35 ways that I have learned to do both. So they say you can't do everything, at the same time. So I'm not the primary teacher of my kids. So I will say online school isn't what you've seen in the post-corona craziness quarantine. You can find really good quality online school providers. It does take a little bit of effort and a little bit of research, and I'm happy to help you with that process. We have a private Facebook group that we discuss all things related to online school. But with that, the 35 ways to survive and thrive as an online school mom or a homeschool mom while working full time. And for me, I work outside of the home in a corporate job, and I travel quite a bit. Not right now because of Corona, but my husband and I both travel for work, and we found ways to make it work. So you can do it. It's not easy. One of the things I was telling my kids is, I always say nothing good came from easy, right? So it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely going to be worth it. So with that, number one, definitely use Google Calendar. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Unless you have some better calendar system, Google Calendar allows you to code for each kid, color code. They can do it themselves. They can start to block out dates. We use both Google Calendar and I use a printable calendar because I like to have a big picture. And so I use the big Post-it desktop calendar, and I can put everybody's primary stuff on there. And that way, at one glance, I can see the whole week. So that's number one. Number two, learn how to use all things Google. So if you don't already use Google Drive, Google Slides, Google Docs for work, which I did not, you can learn it right alongside your kids. Even my third graders learning to use it really well. I recommend the Homeschooling with Technology podcast. She goes over each Google, whether it's forms, slides, it's all free, and she goes over each one and how to use it. And of course, you can just Google the actual thing and find a tutorial as well. Number three, find quality online providers. And I already alluded to this a little bit, but do your research up front. Early summer is the perfect time to do this. A lot of times you can even get discounts on classes. If it's already past that time, don't freak out. You can still survive. You can still find good classes. They just keep popping up every day, new providers. You just have to really do your research. The more you do up front and find the best classes and set the schedule the best way, the less that it's going to be stressful during the school year. We tend to not like to have more than 2 live online classes per day. So I'll give you an example. If you were going to take a history class and they have a one time a week 90-minute live session and then assignments the other days, then the day that you have history, maybe Monday, you don't also want to have all your other live classes. So it's nice to have 1 or 2 to break it up and then schedule the other hours for other work. Let's see, we don't do anything fancy with regards to that. We just use a Google document Monday through Friday, and we have a little table and we put in hourly things, and anything that's live we highlight in yellow, and then we go from there. Usually on Saturday or Sunday we go through and we just plug in whatever assignments there will be, and that way there's nothing missed. Number three, hold your kids accountable. So the first couple weeks of the year are going to be a little tough. I'm not going to lie to you, especially as they enter high school. I've tried to be more hands off. And I would say hold those first Saturdays, especially if you have a high schooler. And that's when they're going to have to make up their work if they didn't finish during the week. And as far as my son, he learned pretty quickly after the first couple, I swear, on the first couple of Saturdays, he was doing 5 hours of schoolwork a day. And then he realized, okay, if I don't get this stuff done, I'm going to be having to do it over the weekend. So I better get moving, whatever. So anyway, hold them accountable and hold those Saturdays. And then if that keeps going on, then something's wrong and you guys are going to have a talk. But the first couple weeks, I just kind of let him learn himself. Number 4, use educational podcasts in the car. That goes for you and your kids. So podcasts just keep increasing in number, and we use them a ton for the youngest kids, definitely for the teens, and then for myself as well. I don't have time to read a bunch of books. I wish I did. I love to read, and I love like the self-help books and everything, but podcasts have filled that. Sorry, my phone. Have filled that void for me. So I use those a lot. Okay, number 5, eat right and exercise. You know what? It's not easy, but you're going to feel so much better. And it's like what do they call the thing on the plane? The mask. You have to do yourself before you do your kids. So if you don't take care of yourself, you're not going to be in top shape to take care of your kids. So just do it. Be an example. Do PE with your kids. I had to join an online boot camp to keep myself accountable. So think to yourself, what is going to make me accountable? Both nutrition and exercise wise. Yeah, it's another thing to add on your plate, but you're going to be so much more effective in the rest of your life, including your homeschool and your other job, if you take care of yourself. Number 6, don't listen to other opinions. Don't listen to other opinions. Whatever it is, I don't care if it's a family member, whatever. If this is what your family has decided to do, this is what you've decided. And I think I've heard a lot like, oh, so-and-so doesn't believe in homeschooling. Really? I didn't know it was a religion. But just because somebody doesn't believe in it doesn't matter to you. This is your decision. And you have a why. Think about your why. And what I do is I write out my why, and I'll share it with you in a little bit, and I hang it up on the wall. And then anytime maybe I do feel a little bit self-conscious or nervous or anxious, I look at the why, and then I realize, okay, this is why we're doing it, and it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. Number 7, listen to your kids. You have the beauty as a homeschooling mom to tailor the curriculum however you want it. You can. Even in high school. They talk about accredited, whatnot. You need to make sure that whatever your kid is wanting to do after high school, that they're prepared for that. But aside from that, you can tailor it however you want. You're in charge. So depending on your state, make sure you follow the state laws. But, you really can get flexible with what you do. And I do believe high school students specifically, all kids really, but high school kids in particular should have a say in what they're studying. They'll just do better. Instill a passion for learning in your kids. That's number 8. This goes without saying, but this is what they're going to take for life from this whole experience. Get them passionate about learning, and your job is done, right? I mean, really. Number 9, make sure you do this. This is going to save you so much stress. You're not going to get a call when you're on a work trip or you're on a conference call and they're knocking on your door. Make a password list of anything that you can imagine they're going to use. Make it in a Microsoft Word table and give it to each kid. Put it up on the wall. If it's in your house, I can't imagine that that's not safe. So that's what I would do. There's nothing worse than getting a text and you're like in the middle of an important meeting. It's like, Mom, I can't get into my class, or I'm locked out of this program. So that's what I would do to do that before it happens. Make a daily schedule. Talk to the kids. What time is everybody going to be up in the morning? What time are people going to eat breakfast? You do not want a revolving kitchen. It's going to drive you insane. So, it doesn't mean that everybody has to eat at the same time, but it does mean if they're going to eat at a different time, they're responsible for their own breakfast and their own cleanup. That's kind of how it goes in my house. And it's just, you don't want people wandering at all times. So if everybody has a schedule, you agree to it, then you can move on. Let's see, ask for help. I can tell you, I have a few close friends that I can definitely count on. If I get in a bind at work or whatnot, or my husband does, we have a few people that we can definitely count on, whether we need a last minute ride or somewhere for the kids to stay overnight. If you've got family members, that's great. Otherwise, ask a couple of friends, would you be willing to help me out? I'm trying this out this year. Just be honest, be humble. Don't ever be afraid to ask for help and help others. You never know. If you just reach out to other people and help, then they're going to help you back. Don't do it just because they're going to help you back, but just because it's the right thing to do. This is going back to the kitchen a little bit, but I would say eat simply. So don't make complicated. This is not the time of your life, unless you love gourmet cooking. This is not the time of your life to go all out with meals. You can make really simple, healthy things, eat clean, but just don't go for complicated right now. It's just, you're already going to have enough that you're taking on, especially the first year or two that you're doing this. Just keep everything else as simple as you can. Let's see. Have books everywhere. everywhere. Keep a basket of books in each room of the house, and I am not joking, especially when they're little. Keep them in the kitchen, keep them in the bathroom, keep them in the laundry room. Books, books, books. The more they read, it's amazing. I know you guys have read the statistics, but it just is amazing how much difference it makes. We keep a basket of books in the car. We keep a basket of books in the trunk. That way there's never an excuse, and you just always have a book. When they're little, take them to the library every weekend and get a basket. For us, I was kind of anal about this, and the library books stay in the library book basket. That way you never have to worry about losing them, but I never had a rule about how many they could check out. We got tons of them, and then we just return them the next week. So that's usually a pretty easy drive-through activity. If you can't get to the library, or, well, even if you can, use Audible and Epic. Audible is through Amazon. It's not that expensive, and you can get like unlimited books, and I listen to them for myself too. And then Epic is for younger kids. I would say probably under 5th grade. They have read to you. They have some video like how-tos, but they have a lot of audiobooks that are more picture books, but then there's also books that the kids can read digitally. And the selection is actually pretty awesome. So Epic, EPIC, I really like that. It's an app. Care.com, find a couple sitters and drivers and save them and use them. So interview them before you need them. You never know, but at least you have a couple backup options if you're in a bind. If you travel frequently, this is something I've always done aside from homeschool, but it does make things easier. Just keep a bag of makeup, a bag of all your toiletries separate. Just buy 2 sets, and that way whenever you have to go, you're ready. This one's kind of funny. Use Amazon Prime. If you don't, use it. Seriously, that's all. Use Amazon Prime. Have a grocery list that everyone can add to. We use Wunderlist. It's like WNDERLIST, but you can use whatever you want. You can put a paper copy on the fridge. I don't care. But if it's not on that list, and then there's no whining that like we are out of this because nobody told you. Use Postable to send cards if you're a card sender. It saves a lot of time, and what I do is make my kids have to type in the message. So they're still getting a little bit of, personal greeting. It's POSTABLE. And it's a little bit more expensive than sending a card, but it's so easy. And you have to do it a few days in advance too. You can't just do it the day before. So do that. This one's funny too. Make sure you pack non-perishable snacks in the car. I definitely do this, whether it's rice cakes or like those veggie chips or some almonds. Always have food because you don't want to be hangry. Like that's just the worst. You don't want hangry kids. You don't want me to hangry. So we always just have extra snacks. Buy plenty of cell phone chargers and also scissors. For some reason in my house, those are the things that are always missing, especially because I have a 3rd grader. So the scissors, she's always doing some kind of craft, which you don't want to stifle, but my goodness, where are my scissors? So that one I had number 22, buy plenty of cell phone chargers and scissors. Number 23, use your tech time wisely. Use educational YouTube channels and Netflix. Netflix has awesome educational shows. And if you need recommendations, go to Pinterest. It's so easy. It literally takes like 5 seconds and you can get all kinds of ideas. Have an end of the year conference with your kids. I have a little questionnaire on my blog if you want to use mine, make your own. But basically just sit down with them and talk about what went right, what went wrong. If you're just starting, then maybe ask these questions regarding their public school or private school experience and see what they think about what's coming up and what they envision it to be like. Number 25, if you work like I do and have to present in front of people, practice it in front of your kids. They're not going to understand the content and they're probably going to walk away kind of rolling their eyes and bored, but they are going to see like you have to rehearse. They're going to see the importance of eye contact, enunciation, all that good stuff. So I think that in itself, it's kind of funny because now I see my kids practice in front of the mirror because they've seen me do that for years and years. Use online classes to teach life skills. Some of the things we've done, cooking, babysitting, different organizing, interior decorating classes. That way you're learning, the kids are learning some life skills. We use OutSchool for most of those things, but I'm sure there's other things as well, but that's our favorite. Take a day when you need it or when you feel your kids need it. So as a working mom and homeschooling mom, you're just gonna get overwhelmed. And if you don't take the time for yourself, and if you feel yourself just kind of like going crazy, take the time then before it just completely like overflows, because everybody's going to be happier. So get outside, take it, sleep in for a day. Just take a day off if you need to, but do it. Take your kids to work conferences if you can. One of my favorite memories is taking my mom and my daughter with me when I had to work at a work conference in Boston, but they had the time of their life. So that way you feel like your kids are seeing like the benefits of your work too, and they're not just kind of like always like, oh, mom has to work. But they are getting to do some extra things they wouldn't have already gotten to do. Ask for subscription boxes for gifts for your kids. Those go hand in hand. They can be educational. We like the Kiwi crates. We've done snack crates. Those are the most recent ones we've done, and we liked them both. So Kiwi crate has like I think it's Tinker crate for the older kids and Kiwi crates for the younger, but you can look it up on their site. Squeeze learning time in anytime you want, and I think anytime you can. And this is kind of funny. There's even a podcast for their brushing their teeth. It's called Chompers. So if you're into podcasts, play it. They have like a little educational facts. 1 week it's poetry, 1 week it's animals, and it's morning and night. It'll not only help your kids brush their teeth, but it'll also teach them something. It's pretty cool. Contract out what you can. If you can afford a cleaning person, do it. It will just make everything so much easier. And if you can't, then enlist everybody to help. Put on some music and just do it, but don't put it all on yourself. Minimize the mom guilt. It's easy to envy the other homeschooling moms that look like they have all the time in the world and they're so patient and they get to do all these things with their kids. But I think I teach my kids not to be jealous and envious of other people. So I have to figure out a way to not be. So I have to be happy and content that I am able to work, that I like to work, that I chose to work, and tell myself that, and tell my kids that, and tell myself that every day. And, my personal thoughts are just do the best you can every day and show up for your kids. And they're going to see that. And just don't be envious of others. This is your life, not someone else's. And that's why it comes back to remember your why. And if you think about that before you even start your online schooling or homeschooling journey, if you figure out what your why is, it's going to be amazing. Our why is because we want the opportunity to pursue an amazing education while allowing time to be curious and explore individual passion. So that's ours. And then the very last one, 35 reasons you can homeschool and be a working mom. If you are doing it, give yourself a pat on the back. I think, as working moms, we're constantly striving for perfection. So give that up and just strive to be a role model for your kids. And again, just show up every day and be the best that you can be. So with that, please follow my blog. It's onlineschoolmom.com, and join my private Facebook group too. We've got a great growing group of moms, not all working moms, but all people that are looking for online school options and just different options for their kids. Thanks.